All right, welcome to the second week of our Web Center World Series. In our last session, we basically did an overview, right? We had a brief overview about what to expect about the program. We talked about some of the prizes and incentives. We didn't really do too much training per se, other than getting prepared, getting organized, really making sure that you are prepared for success. You're scheduled for success. What do you need to do to get started? Today's session, we're going to just bring it straight to basics. We've got some veteran Web Center owners, we've got some Web Center trainers, we've got Web Center challenge winners, and we also have brand new Web Center owners or even just unfranchised owners. So we've got a very diverse audience here, but nothing will replace the basics. It's very similar to the basic five. Whether you are a $1 million club member or you are a brand new unfranchised owner, the basic five is the basic five is the basic five. So tonight we're going to talk about the Web Center basics, and we're going to talk about the 5 C's. It's something that's good to revisit these, especially if you've had some success, because sometimes you kind of get in, I don't want to say a funk, but you get so accustomed to the way that you're doing business that you might start only doing the basic 3. So we want to make sure that we're doing all 5 of these components to have a nice, well-rounded business, certainly with the Web Center focus. So that's what we're going to focus on today through the Web Center World Series training. Just a good recap on this proven duplicatable system that provides small business owners an effective internet presence. And we do that all with the teams of professionals so that you don't have to do any of the heavy lifting. We let the professionals at MA Web Centers do that. So what are the benefits? What is it that we're really offering? Are we selling websites? No. Are we selling digital marketing products? No. What we're doing is offering business owners a way to increase revenue, decrease expenses, increase customer satisfaction, streamline business practices, increase engagement, and marketing their business. That's really what we do, and that's what we offer. We offer these solutions to the small to medium-sized businesses, and it just happens to be that the vehicle is digital marketing and our web solutions by MA Web Centers. So, again, are we selling the technology? Nope. Are we selling the features? Nope. Are we selling the benefits? Nope. What we're actually doing is selling what? The appointment. The appointment. Think of it as a referral approach. We've been at this for almost 20 years, right? 2 decades. And the Web Center owners that focus on the basics usually are at the highest ranks across the entire company when we look at sales results within the Web Center division. The proven system is built on not building websites yourself. It's not in being a technology whiz. It's not being a developer or a designer. It's not even being a sales professional. Our proven system is built on selling. We talk about that when we talk about promoting events. We build from event to event to event, and the Web Center division is no different. We focus on leveraging the teams of professionals to do the heavy lifting. So think of it as that referral approach. It's simple, it's effective, but most importantly, it's duplicatable. And that's the ultimate when you're trying to create leverage in your life, is it's got to be a system that is easily duplicated by mass numbers of people. And we know that if we can help people simply refer over business to our sales support and product specialists, the chances of success are going to go up. And that means that any Web Center owner can succeed regardless of their background or their expertise. I heard once that it says, it's not what you do that's important in building this business, it's what that duplicates that is important. So think of that. Maybe you've become experienced and you've been really good at setting the appointments and selling the websites yourself. Congratulations. The downside of that is sometimes those clients then turn to you for everything. They want you to make the updates. They think that you're technical support. So there is a way and a balance to it all, but you want to involve our product specialists in the process because it makes it much easier to delegate, offload responsibility, and pass along to the right parties to do the work, because again, your job is to be an account manager and to support these businesses. So I can't stress enough the importance of using the sales appointment wizard and using product specialist to sell the sites, sell the digital marketing, and helping with the technology follow-up. So we do have various teams that can support you as a web center owner. Our product specialists first and foremost, of course, our design and digital teams, and then lastly, our customer care. You know, there are a lot of professional web designers, web developers, small businesses, freelancers out there. But the one thing that holds them back from scaling their business and really offering more products and services to more clients and becoming really profitable is that they can't really offer their services to too many clients, right? There happens to be a ceiling or a cap of how many clients they can actually service at any one given time. So this is an important piece of the leverage, not only in your unfranchised business network, but also you're leveraging what? You're leveraging MA Web Centers and their support teams to help offload your time and responsibility. So that is critical for you to understand. So we talk about the 5 C's, right? Most successful web center owners follow these 5 steps without even realizing it. So now we train on it, right? The first is candidates, identifying leads. Second is doing some candidate research or their current situation. The third is contacting the candidates, right? Doing the approach to set the appointments. The fourth is conducting a 15-minute consultation to really understand their needs. And then the 5th C is closing them to an appointment with a product specialist where they can do the heavy lifting and close the client and sell the services for you. And we're going to kind of walk through these and do a speed tour through each of these 5 C's. If you want a more in-depth 5 C's training, you can find that on mawc411.com under Learn Online. But you can also attend upcoming WCT 101 training. So make sure you check your GMTSS calendar and schedule yourself into the next available WCT. So let's start with the first C, candidates, right? Before you can contact anyone, you have to generate leads, and possibilities are everywhere. So you need to have that list of candidates. And all too often, people go to maybe cold markets or people that they don't know. And I'll tell you that that is a quick way to burn out if you're not used to being in a networking environment or you don't belong to a networking group. Where you really want to start is in your warm markets, your warm referral types of markets. It's more fun, it's easier, it's more successful, it's faster, it's more duplicatable because we all know businesses. And we know people that work in businesses. And we know people that are well connected with business owners. And we know businesses that we go to as a patron. So this part of your business, you're never going to stop doing. You want to have a constant flow of new possibilities for your unfranchised business, but you also want to have a constant flow of what? Business candidates for your web solutions business. So you can go category by category. And some people say, well, what is the top business category that you service? And we don't really focus on any one niche, but I'll give you a hint. If you go to mawebcenters.com and you click on web design, you're able to see all of the available templates that are a good starting point for businesses. But that's a great way to jog your memory on types of businesses that you already know, like, and trust, do business with, or work with people. And you'll see it from A to Z. You'll see every type of category in there. And of course, there's some that aren't listed that you might think of. But for the most part, you're looking at restaurants, contractors. When I say contractors, could be all the home services businesses, whether it's HVAC and plumbing, whether it's an electrician, maybe a home builder, kitchen and bathroom remodel, roofing and siding, painting contractors, landscaping, landscape construction, excavation, right? So many things fall under that word contractor. Right? What about attorneys and law? Different types of attorneys, right? Family law, criminal law. What about maybe even slip and fall accidents, Social Security law, employment and labor law, family law, divorce attorneys, DUI attorneys, right? There's so many different types of attorneys. So, you know, while these categories are broad, you can kind of bring them down into certain types of businesses within each category as well, such as gyms, right? Lots of different types of gyms or fitness facilities. Salons, same thing, salons, spas, medi-spas, nail salon, hair salon, barbershop, car detailers, right? And auto repair, dentists, another big one, health professionals, doctors, right? Health professionals, doctors, allied health professionals, chiropractic, massage therapy, acupuncture, maybe internal medicine, general practice, maybe a pediatrician, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and the list goes on and on and on in each of these categories. We talked about landscapers, even retail shops, boutique firms, boutique companies in your area, organizations and associations, churches. And what you want to do is think of anyone that you know that owns a business in that category. So invest some time. You want to get to a point where you've got a candidate list of at least 60 businesses, right? So you want to continue to add to this list each and every day. Who do you know that owns a business in any category? Who do you know that's employed at a small business? Maybe you're focusing on, say, restaurants. Who do you know that works at a restaurant? Now you go through all the different employee types at a restaurant. Well, you've got the restaurant manager, you've got the bar manager, you've got the office manager, you have the host or hostess, you've got the wait staff, you've got the bar back, you've got the dishwasher, you've got the janitorial staff, you've got the dish runners, right? You've got the chefs, you've got the cooks, you've got the line cooks. All of these different occupations revolving around the restaurant industry. And it's like that with any of these, right? When we talk about law, maybe there's paralegal, maybe receptionists. And then who do you do business with? So even think about restaurants. Where do you go out to eat? Where do you order food? Where do you do takeout? Where do you go get sushi? Where do you get Italian? Where do you go fine dining? A steakhouse, a bar, grill, maybe a brewery, maybe a winery, a cafe, a deli, a coffee shop, Greek and Mediterranean, Japanese steakhouse, right? All of these different types of restaurants. So where do you go? Maybe just a pizza shop, right? A sub shop, the deli, like we said, maybe a caterer, right? Where do you get food delivered? So all of this becomes opportunity for you. And the last column here is well connected, in that industry. So for example, think about who do you know that's well connected with contractors? Who do you know that might know some contractors? Well, how about in your municipal office? How about the building inspector, the home inspector, maybe realtors, mortgage professionals, right? Maybe mold and mildew abatement companies, right? Who do you know that's well connected? And back to restaurants, maybe it's someone who sells point of sale software for restaurants, or maybe they work in sales for a linen service, right? Maybe you're looking at who would be well connected with a salon. Well, obviously the stylists, obviously maybe the reps. Maybe you've got some friends that are reps that sell hair products to salons, right? So this is all about jogging your memory all over the place to find out who you might know that is a warm lead of someone that you know that could point you to the direction of having a conversation with the business owner. And that's going to be at the heartbeat of everything that you do is what? Networking and building relationships. So once we have that list, now we need to establish our hot list, right? We need to take our top 10, our top 20, so that we can start approaching these businesses. So we really want to find out what their current situation is. And how do we do that? Well, we use one of our favorite online tools, which is Google, right? So what you can do? What can you do to research your candidates? Now, don't go out and invest hours upon hours going through your entire list. Just do a couple a day. Spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes on your list and then jot down some notes, right? So example, Google your favorite restaurant and note what? Do they show up in Google? Do they have a current or up-to-date website? Is it responsive, meaning can you view it easily on a mobile device? Are they using social media? Is there competition showing up on Google? Maybe another one, if it's a restaurant, can you order online? Do they have multiple locations? Now, you might type in the search restaurant name in the search field, but you're better off typing in the type of business category, like deli shop in Hoboken, New Jersey, or coffee shop in Plastown, New Hampshire. So when you use the business category and the geography, it gives you a better idea of where they're ranking, because that's how people search. If they're searching because they already know you, well, that's great. Maybe they need an updated website. But if you do a search and their competition is showing up, but they're not, now there's some interest in trying to speak to them more rapidly, right? There's a sense of urgency. So they go to the top of your list, right? So you screen through your list and do some current research to really identify maybe your top 10 to 15 on a weekly basis. And then we can move on to what? The next part of that, which is going to be contacting them. So some things you want to look for, right? What websites do that are considered working, right? What about branding? Is there a clear sense of who they are, what their mission and vision is? Is the content accurate? Are there dates of 2003 on there? Maybe the menu, it says lunch specials and it was for a month ago. Customers expect up-to-date content. What about the user experience? Visitors should be able to easily navigate and use the website. Do you have to point and click too many times? Is it hard to understand where the website is taking you? If it's a restaurant, if you're clicking on menu and it downloads a PDF to your phone, that's not a very good user experience, right? You want to be able to just see the menu, right? So those are some things to note when you're looking at a business website. And audiences, is it built for both existing and potential patrons? All too often, businesses make the mistake that they use their website just for new traffic and new leads, but it should also be for existing clients. There should be a reason that existing clients come back to the website as well. So those are some little tips and some notes that you can take a look at. I'll tell you one of the most important things, we're in a day and age where you'd think that most websites are responsive, meaning they're friendly on a mobile device. Right now, it's over 40% are still not mobile friendly. Can you believe it? Here we are in 2021, and more than 40% of business websites still are not mobile friendly or responsive. Why is it important? 40% of people abandon a website if it takes too long to load. 67% are more likely to purchase from a mobile friendly site. 74% are more likely to revisit mobile optimized sites. I'll tell you, Google Core Web Vitals algorithm that's coming into play ranks websites on their mobile ability and their responsiveness and their page load speed. So it's starting to negatively impact their search rankings if they don't have a mobile website or a responsive website. So those are some good points to talk to and interest creating remarks when you're having discussions with business owners. Okay, so those are some quick tips of things you're looking for. Now, the third C is to contact. It's now time to contact the business owner, right? So with a little information in your back pocket, it's a conversation starter. So we talk about conversational marketing, right? Remember that the person asking questions is the one who controls the topic of conversation. I like to joke, for those that have children, or know people that have children, maybe toddler age, maybe 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they're just starting to talk, they're curious about the world, they ask more questions. And who steers the conversation, right? It's usually the 3 or 4-year-old, maybe the 5-year-old. They're asking questions. Why this? Why that? What is that? Why, but why? And even as adults, we continue to just answer questions. So who's really steering the conversation? It's the toddler, because they're asking questions. So whoever's asking questions controls the conversation. So if you're asking questions about them and their business, then what are you talking about? Them and their business. If you're asking questions about their website, what are you talking about? Their website. If you get in a dialogue and you find yourself that you're answering questions and you're talking and you're telling, find a way to stop, answer, have a sentence, and then ask a question. And that's how it's going to regain control of the conversation. Very simply, starts off as social, right? This is your warm market. Hey, how are you doing? And then it naturally will go into how's work? Well, how's business? Is the website helping with that? Is your social media helping with that? Are you doing anything with email marketing, right? You can ask whatever question that you want based on the research that you may have done ahead of time. So you can kind of plant those seeds. And you're going to find that if you ask that question, like, is your website helping with that? It's going to really lead into some other questions. Now, another power statement or question that you need to be able to answer is, what do you do? Right? Oh, well, what do you do? You're out and about. You're at a cocktail party. You're at a barbecue. You're at a soccer game. You're at a dance class. You're picking children up from school. You're out with your relatives. Whatever it is, how have you been doing? What have you been up to? What do you do? Right? You need to have something that rolls off your tongue very easily and seamlessly. So I ask you to write it down and practice role play with some people, right? If you're really just getting started, you might say something like, I work with a great company that helps businesses save on business expenses while increasing revenue. Or you might say, I work with a great company that helps businesses with their online marketing. It's got to be something that is natural for you. If you're the one who's really taking ownership and you're a pro, maybe you're a Web Center major, you might say that I'm a marketing consultant, right? That's my identity. I'm a marketing consultant and I help businesses save money, or I implement digital strategies, right? Something short, sweet, and impactful. So as you're talking, you're going to have some points where they're asking questions and you're answering and you're asking questions. There might be a good fit here, right? So when do you pop the question? When do you book the 15-minute consultation? Well, you've asked a good 3 to 5 questions. They're interested in carrying on that conversation. They might ask you some questions, which those are buying signs. They're curious. It's now time to offer the solution. And the solution is what? An appointment. You know what? I'd really love to share some more information about that. What I'd like to do is use a favor. I'd actually like to get you on the phone with a website specialist that can really talk to those questions. Would you be available on Friday afternoon or Friday morning, right? And go right for that appointment. Or maybe you're saying, well, I'd love to talk more about that, but I'd prefer to take this maybe another 20 minutes or so just dedicated to you and I. When might you have 15 minutes? I'd like to have a phone call or a Zoom. And then you can focus on the consult. So as you're asking these questions, you're going to find that businesses will fall into some categories. It's usually these 4 categories, right? 1, they don't have a website. Great, you can help them. The website's doing terrible. Even better, you can help them. I'm working on it. Great. How long have they been working on it? Because you can help them, right? The website's doing great. Fantastic. Good for you. And then you can ask some more questions. Worst case, you can follow up in 6 months and see how it's going. But I'll tell you, if their website's doing great, one of the best things that you can do is ask them, what do you love about it? Why is it so great? Get them talking about it. And then you can ask a really subtle question. Say, well, if it could do anything else, what would you prefer that it could do? Or what would you hope that it could do for you? Well, you know what? We'd really like it to be able to be more interactive, or we wish it wouldn't cost so much, right? They're going to give you some type of pain point, which may open the door for a conversation, or maybe it's how you're driving traffic to that website. So as you go through these, right, the website's doing great. What do you like about it? Is there anything you wish it would do that it doesn't? How are you promoting it? Are you doing any social media? How about advertising on Google? You're just trying to uncover an area for you to start having a conversation and schedule a consultation appointment. Maybe it's the website's doing terrible. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's wrong with it? Let them tell you. What's it not doing that you wish it were? All too often it comes down to they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to edit it. They don't have anyone that can help make those changes for them, or it's just out of their control, right? And in some cases, the person you're talking to might not have that control. And maybe it's a staff member or an employee, and they're like, you know what, our website is terrible. But the reason why they haven't done anything about it, because maybe the business owner's child or spouse or a family member is the one who manages the website. So yeah, you have to be very careful, but your job is to just uncover information. And we do that by asking great questions. So what about they don't have a website? Well, have you had one in the past? What's kept you from getting one? Have you ever thought about having one? And most often, most top web center owners will tell you that the typical answers to that question is 1, it's costed too much. 2, they never saw a return, or they didn't see a reason why it was helping them, so they thought it was a waste of their money. The third we're seeing is that they think that they can get the same impact for their business using other channels such as social media. We just use Facebook. Or no, we do everything on social media. Well, that's great. Commend them. But where are they driving traffic from, that conversation? And what about those businesses, those people that don't know who they are, or those people that aren't on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe people that are visiting from out of town? Where are they going to find them? Well, they're not going to find them through a search result. They don't have a website, right? So there's always another question. Another one, I'm working on it. Great. Who's doing it, right? Who's working on it? Are you working on it? Is a staff member working on it? Is a company working on it? Have you been working on it for a while? How long has it been? Do you consider other options? What has been the delay? And how are you currently marketing a business if you're still working on your website? Right? So those are some good questions. We'll put that in a document for you so you can study, because I'll tell you that it's not about knowing the answers to everything. The most successful unfranchised owners and web center owners simply know what questions to ask. So it's all about the questions. Now that you've done that, you need to decide how you're going to contact them to set the appointment, right? You've gathered some information, you've had a social conversation with them. I would tell you that if you're used to talking to them in person, Well, you're going to contact them in person. If you're used to having a phone call with them, you're going to have a phone call with them. If you're used to texting them, you're going to text them. If you communicate through instant messenger or Facebook Messenger or Instagram, that's how you're going to do it. Whatever would be the normal mode of conversation, their preferred method. Now, there's always a sense of urgency when you make a phone call, right? You might even text them and say, hey, I'd like to, ask you a couple questions. Would you be available for a quick 2-minute phone call? Yeah, sure. Or they'll give you time for a phone call. And the other reason I suggest that is that a lot of people are afraid to say no on a phone call or in person, especially if you know them. But in a text message, they can pretend that they didn't see it. They can ghost you. They can ghost you on Facebook Messenger. They can try and avoid it. They just avoid the question all entirely. They'll get back to you in a week and just say, hi, how are you? But if you direct them to a phone call or a face-to-face where you're going to approach them, your results will go up, right? Your percentage of getting an appointment are going to go up. The reason why a lot of people fall back on text messaging and Facebook messaging is because they don't know what to say, how to say it, and they're afraid of what that prospect might say and catch them off guard. So I understand that. However, if you're just using a basic, like a call workshop script, very simple. Hey, when would you have 2 minutes? I've got a quick question to ask. Hey, thanks for taking my phone call. I don't have a lot of time, and I know that your time is important to you as well. Just wanted to find maybe 20 minutes within your schedule where we can talk a little bit more about your online marketing like we started talking about the other day. Again, 20 minutes, something quick, informal, maybe sometime before lunch or after lunch. What would be better? Right? And make it casual, but then lock it down to a solid appointment, right? Hey, I'll call you sometime. Right, so the purpose and the goal of the contact, what is to start the conversation, identify if there's a need, if you can potentially help them, and if they'd be willing to do a 15 to 20-minute consultation. At that point, you're simply going to follow our lead. We've got the tools and resources available. In the consultation, you're simply just having a conversation, and you're going to use these questionnaires as a guide. So you can download these right from unfranchised.com under support materials, under downloads. They're the assessment sheets, right? 15-minute consultations where you can focus on a couple different ones, whether it's a website maintenance, digital and social media marketing, or even business spending. We know that these 15-minute discovery meetings, consultations, lead to higher quality website appointments or DMP demo appointments, right? Allows you to build a relationship. So follow these, ask all the questions, take some notes, and then your close becomes very simple, right? You're simply just writing down all the responses. You're not trying to sell anything. You're not discussing any solutions. You're just simply asking questions and listening to the answers. You're using it as an opportunity to identify decision makers, and you're getting them excited about the potential of learning how they can impact their business. And then it's time to close them into scheduling an appointment with a product specialist, right? So your job is to simply edify the product specialist. I'm so glad that you were able to share that information with me today. I appreciate that. What I'd love to do is schedule an appointment with our product specialist that can talk to you a little bit more about how a website platform like ours may benefit you. Or I'd love to schedule an appointment with our SEO specialist to help you rank in the search engine better based on what I heard today. What I'd love to do is set you up with an appointment with a social media guru, one of our teams of professionals that can talk to you about how to better manage your social media so that nothing slips through the cracks like you just told me that was a challenge recently, right? Use what they shared with you as the reason to book the appointment, right? And then you're just edifying the specialist, putting weight in that referral by saying that you work with the great company that handles these things. You offer the solution to their problem. Taking the pressure off of you, don't have to answer any questions. That's a great question, but it's something that I really can't speak to because I'm not a specialist. In our appointment, I'll make sure that that is addressed and answered, right? Edify the product specialist. What you say is going to depend on what you uncover in your research as well as that conversation. Scheduling the appointment, simple. Just log into your web center and go to the sales calendar, right? Under the home page, you'll see a link that says Sales Appointment Wizard. You'll also see it under the website tab, right? You see Web Center tab, click it, and it gives you an option for the sales calendar. And just fill out the information. It's a simple wizard. Find the appointment slot that works for you. Click on Schedule Appointment, and then it's going to walk you through 9 different steps and scheduling that appointment and giving the product specialist what the information they need so that you can have a great demo appointment. So we always talk about the fortune is in the follow-up, right? So scheduling the next appointment is critical. Even if they don't agree to a demo appointment with the product specialist, you still want to schedule some type of follow-up. Even if that is, you know what, I understand that timing is off right now. Would it be okay if I followed up with you in 4 weeks? Would it be okay if I followed up with you in 2 months? Would it be okay if I followed up with you closer to the holidays? Whatever it is, schedule it just like a follow-up appointment, right? And that's how we can measure your success. Have your availability, have your schedule open, book that appointment. If you can, schedule the appointment with the product specialist. And I always encourage you to do some of that TLC, some of that one-to-one marketing, some of that relationship building that we talk about so often is send a heartfelt communication. Maybe it's a text message, maybe it's a thank you card, maybe it's a handwritten note. Whatever it is, make it genuine and authentic. Provide them with referrals. Maybe you have some business that you can send their way, which is going to help them and it's going to build trust and value in the relationship. Continue the relationship at all costs, right? It might not be now, it's just a matter of when, right? So we did a quick crash course on the 5 C's. You can certainly get a more in-depth training and workshop when you attend a WCT 101. You can also watch a 5C video to kind of recap this on mawc411.com under Learn Online. And of course, you'll have access to this recording to review and take some notes. So this is the objective or the assignment for this week. This week, you should have a candidate list of more than 30, right? If you add 2 per day and you've got a list of maybe 7 days per week times 2, you got 14 businesses to start with and you continue to add 2 per day, you need to have 30 to 60 businesses to get you through the WebCenter World Series. And we're going to work with you to make sure that you're approaching them and handling objections and talking the language to set appointments so you can see success. Now, you also want to start doing your research on your top 10. Google them, jot down some notes. Now, don't spend hours upon hours. You're just looking for some short bits of information. Contact the candidates to just schedule a conversation. Hey, would you mind getting on a call for 15 or 20 minutes? Got some questions for you, right? Use the assessment sheets. And I'll tell you, don't sit back, take action. You have a list already. Do the research, take action, fail forward. You're not going to have 100% of the individuals say, yeah, I'd love an appointment, right? That's part of it. You're going to have to go through some of the numbers. It'll tell you that if you've got a list of about 10 candidates, you're going to contact them. Maybe about 5 of them you'll have some type of conversation with. You might be able to book 2 or 3 consultations, and out of those 2 or 3 consultations, you'll book 1 demo appointment. Right now, our average is for every 4 demonstrations, you'll sell 1 website. So that gives you an idea of the numbers. So if you can focus on contacting 2 per day, you'll be right in line to sell 1 website per month, right? You'll have 1 consultation per week, which will lead to 1 website per month. And that's really a part-time basis. Contacting 2 business candidates a day will lead you to success. Now, if you don't contact any candidates, what's your rate of success going to be? 0, right? It takes action to see through that success. And of course, review the webinars, take notes, become a student, plug into the unfranchised support groups like our WebCenter Owner Support Group on Facebook, right? Official WebCenter Owners is the name of the group. Great forum. Our certified WebCenter trainers, our top WebCenter owners and ambassadors are on there. You know, they're going to share some best practices. You know, does anyone have a landscaper that they've worked with? What are some things that I should look at when I'm talking to a daycare? What should I focus on if I'm talking to a higher education or college, right? You've got a lot of professional mind power and experience at your fingertips, so use it, right? It's all about leverage. So most importantly, get to work on your list, do the research, and then we'll really be focusing on how to contact each of these with a different theme. So as we move forward through the WebCenter World Series, we're going to highlight some different areas such as websites. We're going to focus on search engine optimization. We're going to focus on social media management and giving you some key points that you can bring up in conversations and discussions that will lead you to having great consultation appointments with the small to mid-sized businesses in your local area. So thank you for joining us tonight in the Web Center World Series. We'll get the recording out to you as soon as we can.